if there is any candidate for the 2027 election who should be worried about Olodo Uprising, who should it be? Tinubu, Atiku, Peter Obi? For me, I think it should be Peter Obi. Yes, there is an Olodo Uprising, and Peter Obi should be worried about it. Not because it will affect him personally, but because it can stand in the way of him achieving what he can achieve for Nigeria. So he should be worried. But then there is something he can do about it. And the truth is this: if there is any candidate that will benefit the most from Olodo Uprising right now as it currently is, it is Tinubu and the APC, particularly when you think about the statement that Remi Tinubu made recently about Akara business, Kuli business, and how that has gone viral. Then you will know that, yes, Peter Obi should be worried about Olodo Uprising. Now, you may want to ask, what is the connection between Remi Tinubu's viral statement about Akara business with Olodo Uprising, as was made popular by YC, particularly when he mentioned the name of Pella? There is a big connection between both. And the reason why it could be a problem for Peter Obi is exactly why we need to talk about how to counter the effect of Olodo Uprising as far as the 2027 elections are concerned. Now, because of this Olodo Uprising thing, videos like this are not likely to go viral. So, if you're one of those people who probably do not understand what Olodo Uprising is, then this video will give you an idea of what it is. Let me even just attempt a quick wrap-up of what Olodo Uprising actually is. The phrase Olodo Uprising is not the name of an organization or an organized movement or protest. It is a viral expression that emerged in Nigeria in June 2026. After Nigerian rapper YC used it during an interview to describe what he believes is a growing culture of celebrating ignorance, anti-intellectualism, and superficial online fame. Now, the frame quickly spread across social media and became a nationwide debate. Now, what is Olodo, or what does Olodo mean? In Nigeria, Olodo is a slang, a derogatory term for someone considered unintelligent, academically weak, or lacking basic knowledge. It is commonly used jokingly, but can also be very, very insulting. What did YC mean by Olodo Uprising? YC argued that Nigeria is witnessing a period where academic excellence is no longer highly valued. Social media virality is increasingly rewarded over knowledge or expertise. People who display ignorance or poor reasoning can become very wealthy and influential online. Young people may conclude that education and skill or skill development are less valuable than creating entertaining content. Now, this is according to YC. And that divided Nigerians. It became viral. Olodo Uprising. Olodo Uprising. Many people have argued in support, particularly after Pella came to say he felt insulted or felt defamed and all that. But the truth of the matter is this. Does Nigeria have an Olodo Uprising problem? I'll leave that to you to answer. But then again, I must answer my own. Yes, Nigeria does indeed have an Olodo Uprising problem. And it will be a problem if Peter Obi does not tackle it and do what we will suggest in this video. It will be a problem. Now let's come back to this issue of Remi Tinubu and her statement that went viral about Akara business and all that. What does it have to do with this Olodo Uprising thing? Again, Remi Tinubu's statement also divided Nigerians. So you had APC supporters and Tinubu supporters defending her with every venom, every strength they have. And then you have opposition vilifying her for it, ridiculing her for it, mocking her for it, exposing her, calling her wicked for it. And there are so many skits that have come from that where you see persons like Peter, Randy, Mama P, you see Nigerians now frying akara, selling kuli, you know, suggesting that, oh, Remi Tinubu is wicked. Why would she give cars, brand new Jeeps, Prado, and give millions to women leader in APC, and he's talking about akara business for poor Nigerians? Opposition has really opposed Remi Tinubu's viral statement. But the truth is this. If we really have an Olodo problem, what is the impact of vilifying Remi Tinubu's statement on the chances of Peter Obi in 2027? It would appear to me that supporters of Peter Obi are unknowingly helping Remi Tinubu to achieve her goals and objective of making that viral comment without even knowing. Why do I say this? The elections of 2027 will be won and lost at the polling unit. Yes or no? Peter Obi currently has two very big problems to overcome if he's going to win at the polling unit in a free and fair election. Let's not forget, it takes more than being a good candidate to win elections. Like I used an example earlier, let me just try to use it again very quickly. A very good man who is interested in marrying a very good woman may end up not marrying that good woman, may end up losing that good woman to a bad man. Now you can argue and say, well, it's the good woman's loss. What does the good man have to lose anyway? It is a good woman that will suffer the consequence of marrying a bad man. You can make that argument and you'll be correct. But here's the thing. The good man also would have lost an opportunity to have married the good woman. So two things are true at the same time. While the good woman is suffering the consequence of marrying a bad man, the good man would have lost the opportunity to marry a good woman. So being a good man is not enough. You have to be able to communicate your message very, very clearly to the woman. If not, you lose her. Again, we are told the story of a very wealthy and powerful man who loved this particular woman. But because he was very busy, he would send his PA to deliver his written message to the woman. And so when the PA will get to the woman, he will open the letter and start reading the content of the letter to the woman. And in doing so, it will appear as if it is the PA or the, that is saying those words to the woman, because the woman is hearing those things from the PA, not from the man. And then we're told that eventually the woman married the PA. That is the power of communication. 2027 election, it is the candidate with the clearest message that is very well and efficiently communicated that will win. And it will happen at the polling unit. What have all these got to do with Olodo Uprising? What? Let's go back to Remi Tinubu's viral comments, encouraging Nigerians that, they have given 50,000 naira to poor Nigerians and extremely poor Nigerians. 50,000 naira. And opposition, they latched on it, and there's been a very heavy pushback on that, right? And I said earlier that in opposition, trying to vilify that action of Remi Tinubu, trying to expose her wickedness in that, in comparison to the Prado Jeep she promised women leader, that pushback may actually be helping Remi Tinubu to achieve her objective. In which way, you may ask? It will be a big mistake for any politician to think that Nigeria is a monolith in terms of mode of communication. If you think that you can just package your message in one particular form and it will appeal to all categories of Nigerians the same way, then you'll be making a big mistake. It will be the reason why we will push back the way we are pushing back instead of taking another line of action entirely, which is the way I will talk about shortly, how Peter Obi can take advantage of Olodo Uprising. Is Nigeria a monolith? You can categorize Nigeria along different areas. In terms of wealth, you can categorize Nigerians into 5 groups. Extremely wealthy, that's extremely rich, average, poor, and extremely poor. Abi? Can we agree on that? In terms of how educated Nigerians are, maybe 3. Very educated, semi-educated, or mildly educated, and then you have the uneducated. In fact, we can spread that out, but let's just leave it at 3. Is that okay? Okay. In terms of literacy, ability to read and write, we can also have different categories. Extremely highly literate, semi-illiterate, and illiterate. So that one we can say 4 categories. Now let me ask you a question, and this is important. If you answer it correctly or honestly, because there's no correct or incorrect answer. If you answer this question honestly, it will become very clear how Olodo Uprising is a big threat to Peter Obi in 2027. And why the action that Peter Obi supporters are taking right now in vilifying Remi Tinubu for it may actually be helping Remi Tinubu by extension, and the APC. It may actually be helping. If you answer this question very honestly, what is the percentage of the population of Nigeria in terms of their wealth status that you can put under average, poor, and extremely poor in Nigeria? What is that percentage? You want to say 70%? Okay. Conservatively, I'll agree with you, 70%. But I believe that figure can go as high as 90%. But let's, for the sake of argument, this analysis, stay with 70%. So 70% of Nigerians fall under the categories of average, poor, and extremely poor. 70%. Now, what is the value of 50,000 naira to that 70% of Nigerians? What is the value? To the rich Nigerians, and I mean the rich Nigerians, those who earn above 2 million naira per month, they are rich, right? In fact, some may argue that they are not, but they are. That's 24 million naira per year. They are rich. They are rich. I won't categorize them as average. They are rich. Let me know what you think. Maybe we can recalibrate that categorization. But you see, the average people who are just managing to get by, and that is where you have the bulk of the people. The average Nigerian salary today is about 300,000 naira a month. That's the average, right? So that 300,000 naira a month, if somebody earns 300,000 naira a month, you put that person in that average category. Somebody earns 70,000 naira a month, you put that person in a poor category. Yes. Then somebody earns less than 70,000 a month, 30,000. That's an extremely poor Nigerians, together with those who don't even have work. So that middle to poor to extremely poor Nigerians that make up 70% of the population of Nigeria, what is the value of 50,000 naira to those people? Honest answers only, please. When you finish answering that question, now answer this one. What is the percentage of those people, those 70 people, 70%? What is the percentage of them that are educated and literate? I put all of them in the same category. The percentage of uneducated, half-educated, illiterate, semi-literate Nigerians, very, very massive. I will put it around that same 70%. So when a Remi Tinubu comes out to make an announcement that, oh, we are giving 50,000 naira grant, not loan, grant, that means they are dashing people the money to support their akara business. I want you to answer this question honestly to me. Because again, if you do, you will see how Olodo Uprising is a problem for Peter Obi. And how right now it is advantage Tinubu. How do you think that 70% of average, poor, and extremely poor Nigerians, how would they see that 50,000? How would they see Remi Tinubu? And how will they see Tinubu? You can argue and blame them all you want, but these people think with their stomach. And I wouldn't blame them. You think they are educated, but they are not. You think they are literate, but they are not. So, one thing we must understand, and Peter Obi, I have said it before, two things, very big problems Peter Obi must overcome before 2027 elections arrive, about 6 months away. Number one, structure. Number two, message. Structure, message. Now, it is a mistake for any politician to think that they can just put out one message and the message will reach all the categories of persons in the different demographics. It will be a very big mistake. You see, when we go on television and we do interviews on Arise, on channels, and all that, that message, whatever we say in that interview, how does it resonate with the different categories? Are you trying to tell me that if Peter Obi gives an interview and it goes viral. And the virality itself is funny because if Peter Obi does an interview on Arise News or on channels and the interview gets 500,000 views, it is considered viral because not many people watch news, right? If it gets 1 million views, it is considered extremely viral. So you will say, oh, 1 million people have seen it. Not necessarily. It can be 500,000 people seeing it 2 times because they can't watch a full 1 hour interview at once. They watch 5 minutes here, come back, watch another 5 minutes. So you are seeing 1 million views, but it could actually be 400,000 people watching. Are you trying to tell me that when Peter Obi does that interview on Arise News and 1 million Nigerians see it, that message is understood by the extremely rich, it's understood by the rich, it's understood by the average, it's understood by the poor, it's understood by the extremely poor at the same time? No, nah. Can it be a one-size-fits-all? An all-purpose pill that solves every problem? A gbogbo niche medicine? No. Any politician who makes the mistake of thinking they can just package the message in one form and then all the different demographics in Nigeria will understand it will be making a very big mistake. Remi Tinubu and the Tinubu campaign organization, they understand this. And that is what she was trying to achieve with the comments about Akara business. How does an average Akara business person see 50,000 additional free money given to them? You know what? You go to the streets, ask any Akara business person that you see if they will appreciate a 50,000 additional money to their business and watch their reaction. If you have seen the one that D1 made, you know, D1 is a supporter of Tinubu now. And so he went to go and interview an Akara seller in Shomolu in Lagos. And the Akara seller confirmed my worst fear, which is that the way the average Nigerian, the poor Nigerian, the extremely poor Nigerian sees or understands what Remi Tinubu is saying, it's not the way the rest of us see and understand it. So all our going to social media and vilifying her and spreading that message because we made that message go viral, what then happened is that the average Nigerian, the poor Nigerian, and the extremely poor Nigerian now got to hear that message. And guess what? How will they be seeing Tinubu and Remi Tinubu now? You think they will hate her? If you do, think again. Oh. If you do, think again. But there is something Peter Obi can do to take advantage of this Olodo Uprising. Vote buying can be stopped if Peter Obi does what we suggest right now. In 2027, vote buying will be stopped at the polling unit. It is simple. It is very, very simple. Vote buying will be stopped. I've said it before, and I would like to just refresh our minds about it very quickly. In my polling unit in Abuja, if APC or Tinubu decides to buy votes, do you think that they'll be able to win? With the level of consciousness, with the level of wealth, with the level of education and literacy that we have in Abuja, if Tinubu decides to buy votes for 30,000, for 50,000, Do you think that will be enough to convince somebody like me to vote for him? Do you think so? I think not. If there is vote buying and people are willing to sell their vote, personally, I will not blame the vote buyer. It is an indication of the weakness. It is a failure of the opposition to properly structure and to properly message, to put out a clear message out there. With the level of message or understanding I have of Peter Obi's message, no amount of money that can be offered to me now that will make me not vote for him. But can you say that about the average Nigerian, about the poor Nigerian, about the extremely poor Nigerian? Can you say that? That is why this whole Olodo Uprising thing connected with the Remi Tinubu viral statement is a very big threat to Peter Obi. Now, what can Peter Obi do? Peter Obi right now goes to hospitals, goes to schools, he donates 50 million here, he donates 30 million there, 10 million there, 100 million there, 300. He donates a lot of money. If we put the money that Peter Obi has donated to schools and hospitals and flood victims, I can say it's over 2 billion naira. I can say it's over 2 billion of his own personal money. Now, while it is a good thing for Peter Obi to donate such monies to such schools and hospitals, I want to ask you a question. How does the extremely rich and rich Nigerian, how does the 50 million, 20 million naira that Peter Obi donates to the nursing school, to the hospital, how does it affect them? How? Answer honestly, please. Now, how does that 50 million affect that Peter Obi donates to the nursing school? How does it affect the poor, the extremely poor, and even the average Nigerian? How does it affect them directly? Do they see that as something that they are benefiting from directly? You can ask around yourself, but I have done so. And I can tell you they don't. And people are more like a we FM thing. What's in it for me? It's normal. That's how human beings are built. So, if you compare that to what Remi Tinubu is doing, then you see clearly where the problem lies. Peter Obi needs to change strategy. What can he do to bend the Olodo Uprising away from tilting towards Tinubu and the APC? Bend it towards Peter Obi. What can he do? Remember, there are different categories of Nigerians. Extremely rich, rich, average, poor, extremely poor. The messaging has to dovetail. The messaging has to dovetail to fit the dreams and aspirations and fears and concerns of each of those demographics. If Peter Obi is doing something, then the messaging around that action must be clear to the extremely rich. They must see how Peter Obi's action will benefit them. The rich too, the same thing. The average, the poor, and the extremely poor, they must see, they must feel clearly how Peter Obi's actions benefit them. And you can't do a one-size-fits-all messaging for that. You have to. So for one action, you have to have 5 messaging for the 5 categories of persons. What can Peter Obi do to achieve this? Because Tinubu has done it very well. You see, while you will complain and say, Remi Tinubu gave Toyota Land Cruiser, Toyota Prado to women leader, he's dashing them millions. But for the poor Nigerian, he's recommending kuli kuli and akara business. What they are doing is they have split their messaging format to cater to the needs of the different demographics of Nigerians. Because let's face it, the people who have their PVC, they fall under the average, poor, and extremely poor Nigerians. They are the ones that have the time to go and queue to register for PVC. They are the ones that have the time to follow up to make sure the PVCs are ready. They are the ones that have the time to queue to get their PVC and keep it. They are the ones though. So they are the majority of the people. But you see, with a Tinubu, what they have done is they have a city boy movement to cater for the extremely rich and rich, to say, oh, we have your interests covered. Then they now have the 50,000 grant, oh, youth empowerment here, women empowerment there, 50,000 naira, oh, 100,000. They have that to cater for the poor, the extremely poor, and the average Nigerians. So it is not a one-size-fits-all. What can Peter Obi do? Instead of just donating to charity, donating to schools, donating to hospitals, Peter Obi gather that money and use it for an empowerment program. The empowerment program will take care of the need of the 70% of Nigerians that have PVC. %70. All the people that are doing pushback, majority of them online, they don't get PVC. The people that are online, those that manage to watch news, many of them don't get PVC. The rich, the extremely rich Nigerians, they mostly don't bother, because if you check it, they are able to take care of themselves. They are able to provide their own security. They are able to provide their own electricity. They are able to run their businesses, make money to take care of themselves and their families. So many of them, even when they have PVCs, they don't come out to come and vote. They don't want to stress themselves. But the people who vote are the ones who are not so educated, who are not so literate, and who are either average, poor, or extremely poor. And so the messaging has to reach out to them. Right now, when Peter Obi talks about, oh, the policies of Tinubu, there's corruption. The poor and extremely poor Nigerians, they don't understand that too. Mr. Peter Obi. They don't. You can blame them, but they don't. So you now have to find a way to reach out to them in a way that they can understand. And that is this empowerment program that I'm talking about. And it's just, I'm not talking about just going to buy keke to give to people. No. In a structured format. Structured in such a way that it will create awareness. It will draw the people to you and it will help them. It will help to clarify your message for people to see exactly what you intend to do and how it will benefit them directly. Right now, the average, the poor, and the extremely poor Nigerians, they don't see it. They just know that Peter Obi is a good man. But that is not going to be enough in 2027. So you must engage in this empowerment that I'm encouraging or that I'm describing now. I have a full blueprint for it that I may not be able to fully describe in this video. So I want to beg those of you who are around Peter Obi, please tell him that he has to engage in an empowerment program that is structured in such a way to reach out to these people. If he has any questions around it, they can reach out to me. I am tired of trying to explain this to people around Peter Obi. I'm not dragging your position with you. I don't get that time. Before now, I don't engage in politics. It is because of the entrance of Peter Obi. That's why I'm doing all this. They're not they pay me. Peter Obi has not met me before. The only time I met him was on a plane. When I was coming from Abuja, I met him on a flight. That was all. And he was seated in his own. I just greeted him. That was all. So I have not sat down face to face with Peter Obi to say, Peter Obi, oh yeah, how far now? Give me this money now. No. And I don't intend to do that ever. I have businesses that I run. I'm very well capable and able to take care of myself. So I'm not coming to drag your position with you in your obedient movement or in your NDC. I am not. I just want Peter Obi in Aso Rock Villa in 2027. And I'm saying this because I am frustrated by the reactions of persons around Peter Obi to suggestions that we give. I am. I've mentioned these two problems multiple occasions to Tanko Yunusa. I've mentioned it. Structure, message. In fact, I mentioned it to Dr. Mu during the FCT area council elections. But events overtook it. I don't want events to overtake it in 2027. And that's why I will keep raising it. Because every time I have raised it before now, Tanko Yunusa, you have not answered it. You have not handled it. Instead, you come back and you give resume about how you have been a presidential candidate before, how you have been a chairman of a party before, and all that. I am not trying to attack your capacity to be obedient DG or coordinator. I am not. I'm not interested in it. So when I say structure us, when I say clarify the message, and you are giving me you're sounding as if I am coming for your job, you're trying to present your credentials. Come on. Your credentials not reach you if we are to go by credentials. If you took my advice, Tanko, on structure and on messaging, your NCP that you were chairman of, is it NCP? Yeah. The party will not be deregistered today. It will not be deregistered. If you took my message on messaging, when you ran for president, you probably you would have been a significant presidential candidate. So stop coming to me with your credentials. Stop coming to me with your credentials when I give this advice. I mean well. I'm not interested in your job. Continue to be spokesperson. Continue to be a coordinator of BDM movement, or maybe you'll be presidential campaign council. I'm not interested. But what I want is, please take the advice and run with it. You have not done anything about it. Maybe it's because people don't clearly understand what structure is. Okay, let me just divert a little and talk about structure before we come back to what Peter Obi can do, this whole empowerment program, so he can take advantage of this whole Olodo Uprising and counter whatever it is that Remi Tinubu wants to achieve with all this, their empowerment, their segmented empowerment program. What is structure? If you take the police, for instance, the police is a very well-structured organization. The Inspector General of Police today can just send signal from his phone, and immediately the last constable in the most remote police division or even police post will get that message immediately. That is structure. Because the message will go from the IG to the DIGs in charge of the different departments. It will go down to the AIGs in charge of the different zones. It will go down to the Commissioner of Police in charge of the different states. It will go down to the to the area commanders and the divisional police officers, to the sergeant majors, to the sergeant, to the corporal. It will go down like that to make sure that every corner of Nigeria is covered. That is the structure we're talking about. Peter Obi should be able to send a message today, and that message is received at the most remote polling unit immediately, in such a way and manner that it is clearly understood and action is able to be taken. That is the structure we're talking about. We are talking about a situation whereby every polling unit has a cell, such that when you are doing mobilization, you are not doing relocated mobilization, where everybody will come to Abuja, you will do rally. Then everybody will go to Lagos, you will do rally. No. You will now be able to mobilize at the polling unit cell, and everything will be happening at the same time. We're talking about PVC mobilization. If we were structured enough, we'll be doing the PVC mobilization at the cell, at the polling unit level, at the ward level, at the same time. So please forgive me if I'm always very forceful. People always complain that my voice is loud. So sometimes I can come across as being very antagonistic. I am not trying to antagonize anybody. I just want us to do what we need to do. Coming online to vilify Remi Tinubu, you are helping her. Because the people she's targeting, they don't understand the big grammar that we speak. You come on TV, you are doing, the inflation has gone up, the price of this, and what is it called now? Devaluation of the naira, the removal of fuel subsidy. These guys are the bottom rung of the ladder. The average, the poor, and the extremely poor Nigerians, they don't understand all those grammar. And that is why they will sell their vote. But if we engage to structure and to clarify our messaging down to the smallest unit, even when Tinubu brings his 10,000 and 30,000 to the most remote and uneducated parts of Nigeria, they will not sell their vote. If anybody sells their vote, it is a failure of a political party or a political candidate to effectively structure and to effectively message. So Olodo Uprising is real. YC has made it popular. Pella has made it popular by saying it feels insulted. But does that make it not to be true? It is very true. People who do stupid things are richer than people who have sense. So technically, what Donald Trump said is true. In a society where armed robbers are the heroes, children want to become armed robbers. And it's basic human nature. People want to be celebrated. They go where they are celebrated, not where they are tolerated. So if bloggers like Pella, who when they were serious, nobody took them seriously. Now they are doing mumu things and they are making money. What do you think the younger generations will do? They will say, now mumu they pay now, and they will engage in doing mumu things. And that's because the large or the vast majority of them belong to the average, the poor, and the extremely poor category in Nigeria demographics. So Peter Obi, it's not enough to just be a good candidate. It's not enough to say, yes, you have character, how does the vast majority of the 70%, how do they see you? We can change that. This Olodo Uprising, we can bend it to our advantage by structuring this empowerment program. Imagine an empowerment program that you engage for Nigeria in different phases, even with 100 million. You do an empowerment program for 100 million, you'll be shocked at how it would have helped your campaign to structure and to clarify your message. If we succeed, even 50% with this empowerment that I'm talking about, dear Peter Obi, it will be impossible for voters to sell their votes at the polling unit. And let's not forget, and this is the most important thing, the election of 2027 will be won and lost at the polling unit. Peter Obi will win 24 states. The whole states in the southeast, the whole states in the south-south, Peter Obi will clear them. Forget all this nonsense they are doing with all this, their decamping thing. 3 states in the southwest. Lagos, Peter Obi will win in a bigger margin. Peter Obi will win Oyo, Peter Obi will win Osun. You can leave Ogun and Ondo and Ekiti to Tinubu, even though he will still do well. Then you go further and look at the middle belt. Peter Obi will win FCT, Peter Obi will win Benue, Peter Obi will win Nasarawa, Peter Obi will win Plateau. Peter Obi, if you go to the North States, will win Taraba, will win Adamawa where Atiku is, will win Bauchi. Then Peter Obi will win Kaduna, Kano, Katsina. 24 states, guaranteed, in a free and fair elections. And we are not saying if the election is free anymore. And we are not depending on INEC to make the election free. We are making the election free and fair by ourselves using VoteWatch. The link is in the description. I'll see you in the next video.